Yo, what is up YouTube? It's Kuces, back with another video today. We're gonna be making future bass. Or not future bass, Kawai future bass. Kawai bass. Yeah, Kawai future bass. As you can see, this is it's a big ass project. So to break it down for you, I'm gonna be going over how I made this obviously perfectly mixed masterpiece. What did she say? I can't speak. I'm gonna go over the lo-fi piano first. So pretty simple chords. You know, it's major because it's feature bass. I mean, you could do minor feature bass, but major works better in my case at least. I'm gonna play now.
Shut the f up! What the f are you talking about? You
I'm gonna play. Okay, I'm gonna play. Okay. And then we have a intro sub bass that comes in here. I don't know what you expected, it's just a sub, but I'll play it for you anyway. Yeah, and anyway, for most of the intro parts, I tend to keep the post-processing simple, and I don't really go that in-depth. Like, see, I only have like vinyl, OTT, and an EQ and a reverb. Like, it's not that much. Same with the intro sub, because I wouldn't want the intro sub be hitting harder than the freaking drop sub, so I just try to keep it as simple as possible. And then I layer it with the keys on piano. You already know this is a great piano, and it's free. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Here you go. Play it for you real quick. I also messed with the strumming. I usually just use normal strumming, but I started like manually doing it myself, and it sounds way better and like much more realistic than just a normal strum. Okay, so this is just like all the chords like quantized, and then let's say I just do, okay, I'm gonna play it normally. So this is what it'd sound like if I didn't do like any strumming whatsoever. So it's a lot more like harder than you like want it for the intro part. So this is what a strum would sound like. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It just doesn't sound like how you would play it on a piano yourself. So I don't know. I just personally don't like using it as much anymore. But I mean, it's still an option if you don't want to manually do it yourself, because I know it can be kind of annoying. And then anyway, we have a little like breakdown part at the start of the drop. So we got some side chain going, and just some a kick and a rim, and I also have a little vocal kind of like it's like an anime type thing. I mean, it's just like it gives it like the Kawai future bass vibe, because I know Kawai and future bass is supposed to be like anime related if I'm not wrong. Hold on. Kawai future bass is a subgenre of future bass known for its happy and cute timbre and strong Japanese culture influences. Often chiptune sounds, soft square waves, samples from animes, video games, percussion instruments, and doors and beds and scrapes incorporated into songs. Snail's House and other produced have this. Maybe I should have done more research, but I mean, I think my song's pretty quiet. Like, I think so for myself. I think it's pretty quiet. So, I mean, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I mean, I did it for that one commenter, and you know who you are. I'll put you up here if I find the comment, but. I mean, I will find the comment. I will put you up here. I'll put you up here, man. I appreciate it, dude. And yeah, so I have a little Meliodas little chant thing where he's like saying, okay, so this is what the sample sounds like normally. Okay, obviously I didn't use all his fucking hits. I just cut out like the first one, I think, and I just pitched it up 420 cents. I threw it up an octave. Yeah, so I have a little exhaust, and then these drums just like help bring in the vibe. I thought it was nice, little thing to give it like its own character. I know I say that a lot, but it does give its own character. I'm just saying. Okay, and then for the build-up, I didn't do like one of those snare build-ups. I just like let it kind of come up with some filters and stuff. So I put down another exhaust. So I put another exhaust here, and then I also have a sweep up. And then I also have the piano and lo-fi piano in the build-up. I left the lo-fi piano on the same octave and everything. I didn't mess with it at all. And then for the second piano, I think I just brought it up an octave to kind of help it feel like it's going into a drop. So this is what it sounds like. So it's really nice. And then I have a lead from the main drop that's getting filtered up as well, and a saw, and these vocal chops. Okay, so this is what it would sound like. I don't want to go all the way into the build. You kind of know what to expect. I have the snare come in from the drop snare and clap, and then a little tom that comes in as well that brings it into the main drop, which is I think it's pretty quiet. I don't know, but you'll listen for yourself, so let me know in the comments. So I have 3 layers of leads. I'll show you the patches, mostly serum. So for the first layer, I have a square wave, and then it has a little sine LFO, and if you put the sine here, I'll show it for yourself. So if I take this off, you just hear this normal, right? It's just a simple square wave. And then if you get a triggering LFO with a sine wave and you turn up the rate a little bit and then put it on the fine, it kind of gives it that vibrato effect. And then for the second lead, yeah, it's just like a saw type leads. I usually make these for most of my leads because I think it just gives it more fatness to the overall lead itself. Yeah, this is like a plucky type lead, yeah, just to let the lead hit a little bit harder. So for the first lead, it's got an OTT, EQ, distortion, another OTT. For the second lead, I have a patcher, it's a mid-side EQ, and then some OTT, EQ, distortion, same thing. And then for the third one, I have a vocodex, which seems to do much. The release is kind of up a little bit. The wet's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock ish. And then we have some saw waves, of course. It's future bass, what I don't really expect. So for the saw waves, we just got a normal detune saw. The sub on, turn up the pitch of the square in the sub. You can like get like this unique kind of sound. I don't have it turned up because I think it's already like in a higher octave, but you can do that. And then I also have like the LFO thing. This is supposed to be like the top layer of the saw, I guess you could say, because it's like really detuned and high, and it's got some bright noise on it, so it can give it some more high end. And then we have a third layer, which I think was just like to give its own character, so I just messed with like some random wavetables. And then I also turned on all the width of them to like 40 to 60-ish, so it doesn't have any phase cancellation. For the bass, I think it's just a saw, white noise, and I distort the shit out of it and I compress it. And then I have a sub, of course, which is mono, and it has some distortion on it. Okay, so for the saws, I have on the first saw a mid-side EQ, OTT, normal EQ, and OTT again. For the second saw, I have another mid-side, basically the same thing as the first one. For the last saw, I have OTT, EQ, and OTT, so it's pretty simple. For the bass, a OTT, distortion, and an EQ. For the sub, I have a distortion and OTT as well to give it a little more fatness. Yeah, I think that covers it for the main synth of the drop. Okay, so now I have a vocal chop that kind of gives its own vibe to the track, which I like the vocal chop the most probably in this track. So this is the vocal chop, so it's got quite a bit. But to break it down for you, you know, it's just got auto tune, but it basically just brings it to a higher pitch without changing its actual pitch, I guess you could say. So without it would sound like this, but with it sounds like this. It's pretty cool. And then I have a OTT, EQ, distortion, more distortion, EQ, a stereo enhancer, kind of widening it out so you can hear it like on both sides here. If you're listening with headphones, you can hear them like both behind you kind of. And it's also separated a little bit. I got a reverb on it, filter, and an OTT to it's not OTT, it's a G clip, which is also a free plugin. That's great. Push your stuff louder. Yeah, that's basically it for the main part. So I have obviously kick drum, snare clap, and hats, and the vocal chant again, basically. Okay, so for the kick, we have an EQ that's cutting out the side at 120 hertz. Another EQ to kind of make it punch through the mix, and OTT, a transient processor. And then we also got some OTT, transient processor, EQ, and reverb on the snare. And then for the other clap, I have some OTT, stereo enhancer, and some G clip to let it cut through the mix and also widen it out a little bit. And then we have some hats. So it's got some transient processor and distortion, and it was like really going through. So if I take this off and I play the drums, it's like really cutting through, and I didn't really like that. But at the same time, if you just send it straight through the side chain, it kind of takes away the whole punch of the hi-hat, which I really don't like. So instead I use the EQ, and I just made a little duck with the dynamic EQ, so whenever a kick and snare hits now, it'll duck that specific spot. So this is what it sounds like with the EQ. And then I have a drum bus as well, which is also cutting out 30 hertz, a transient processor, and some saturation. Yeah, I think that's it for the main drums. I didn't really change that up too much. I also have the toms, so it's just got an OTT, transient processor, EQ, reverb, and OTT to balance out the reverb a little bit. So that's what it sounds like, just to give it a little bit more variation in the drop. And then we have a second part of the drop where I changed the lead. So I introduced a new lead, is over here, has a little sine wave, a square wave again, HB12 filter. It's basically processed the same as every other lead I kind of have. So for the fourth lead, we have OTT, EQ, some vocodex, distortion, basically the same thing, and those are automations, and another G clip to help it cut through. So yeah, that's pretty simple. And then to change it up a little bit, I gave it a growl, which I've never made, like an OG type dubstep growl. I've never done one, so it was kind of cool, learn how to do it. And I also extend the sub so it matches the growl. And yeah, and then there's also some filters in the drop just to give it more variation as well. But yeah, pretty sure that's the whole drop. You know, let me know how I did. I've never done a Kawai feature bass before, so it's kind of different doing this whole thing. I try to give it my own kind of side to this, I guess, like how I would make Kawai feature bass. But I hope you guys like it nonetheless though. So let me know what you guys think. So yeah, that's the whole song. I hope you guys enjoyed the little preview I showed you, and let me know how I did in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this song, please drop a like if you learned something. Thank you so much for your support, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.